millennials, we're just comparing generations. There was a stat that was put out there, a study, and they're saying how millennials and Gen Zs, you guys will struggle to match up with your parents. The baby, is it the Gen X or boomers?
Yeah, boomers.
Yeah, I'm just like, where? Now why? Apparently because of COVID.
So we have like 3 years.
Now we have 3 years to catch up.
Yeah.
But thankfully now we are talking about some awesome pieces of innovation that you guys and of course your company have come up with. And I think this is the right time to get into this conversation. Just like you said, Eric, the future is here. And maybe just as a conversation starter, you should tell guys what you guys do at Moja EV. We can start with, of course, the lady over here, the one and only Josephine.
All right.
And what inspires you to do what you do?
Don't get me started. But anyway, so at Moja EV, we sell 100% electric vehicles. So in Kenya currently, when you say electric vehicles, guys go basi, boda, bike. So we have 4-wheelers.
Great.
So we do 4-wheelers and we also do buses. So the buses are coming, the 14-seaters are coming. And that's what I'm telling you, there's a lot happening and a lot coming up.
Yeah.
And so so at Moja EV, what we do is we sell 100% electric vehicles. Not hybrids, nothing. Just 100% new cars, 0 mileage. Unboxing manenos. Unbox it for yourself.
I know.
Yeah. I like how she
amazing.
says new and then 0 mileage, because people have this habit of it's new with 20k, and I'm like, no, that's not new. That's second hand.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what inspired you to do what you do? I just want to know about the individual Josephine Kwanzaa before we talk about the electric vehicles. Because you're into marketing. Marketing is deep, it's wide.
I love creating. I love creating things. So I like seeing things start from zero up until the point when they are, like doing their own thing. Because at some point, any project you begin at some point has a mind of its own.
I
and
agree.
It grows beyond you. So I like seeing things grow, which is why I do event management, I do marketing, I like creating things, just seeing something start from, something you typed.
Yeah.
And then you just bring the team together.
Yeah.
And then they come up and bring something even more brilliant, because you're not the superstar.
I believe
there are a
that.
million other people who have brilliant
That's true.
ideas. So bringing them together and just seeing it grow is awesome for me. And that's why I like this aspect of electric vehicles.
Yeah.
In Kenya, electric vehicles in the US, in the UK, China, they've been there for years. Like one of our vehicles comes from a company called Neta. Neta is celebrating 10 years. Wow. Here in Kenya.
Who knew?
Yeah. Here in Kenya, we've just brought Neta.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a new thing.
Yeah.
And it's a new way to approach the market.
Yeah.
It's a new way to approach mobility. It's a new way to approach cost saving.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah. That's nice. Eric,
Yeah.
so what does your job entail as the operations manager over there?
Well, to start with, I can speak Chinese fluently.
Oh,
Wait, what?
So, yeah. So,
Okay, hold on. Say hi to our audience in Chinese, please.
ni hao,
And then how do you respond?
bo han hao.
Okay.
So, the problem is this.
wow, okay.
Getting these guys here was an issue.
Yeah.
And then there's a time I went to Shags. When I was in Shags, there was no petrol.
Yeah.
All right. So a friend of ours was sick. We couldn't get him to Hosi and all that. So we had to get solutions out there. That's when I started looking at this fuel thing. I realized Kenya is spending $500 million a month
Hey.
on petroleum. Check it out.
500 million.
That is the highest input we
month.
have in Kenya right now. Pesa hii mingi inapotea apart from some of it. Most of it is going on import of petroleum. Google it, check it.
That's crazy.
Check with
Yeah.
the finances.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you'll find that some of this money can be saved a lot because China is doing the same. She's talking about Neta being 10 years. Last year alone, Neta sold 7.4 million vehicles in China. You go to all the major cities in China, you won't find a taxi that is using petrol. Very few. Maybe one in 1,000 or 500 vehicles, you'll see one that uses petrol. Because for them, like Kenya, they also import fuel,
Right.
petroleum.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to public transport, why should they waste that much money like Kenya is doing?
Exactly.
And we can get buses, we can get the train system going. We don't have to pay that much. So when I sat down and did this, I decided, okay, there's something we could do. Good luck, I met with some friends who are doing the same. And we decided, okay, we can start small, but build something out of it. So that is what we're trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to do in Moja EV.
That's fantastic, man. And as we get deeper into this conversation the whole industry, the electric vehicle industry, what's the latest stats in terms of the number of registered electric vehicles in the country as of 2024? Because I'm sure this is like new for many Kenyans. They're like, okay, I need to save costs.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? What are the stats looking like?
Okay, when you talk about motor vehicles, motorbikes fall under that because they have the motor, right?
Okay.
So with that, according to the latest statistics, we're about 5,000 thereabout.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
actually
people
grown.
are slowly picking up on that.
But you also notice that in the last that has happened in the last 3 to 5 years, all right? You look at the public transport. Right now, I'm not sure. There's, I think, very few circles that don't have electric buses, at least 1 or 2.
Yeah.
All right. So they're also adapting into moving into that. The taxi market started a few years ago as well, and they're moving into getting electric vehicles. Why? Because it's putting more money in their pocket. You know, the servicing of an electric vehicle. I like that topic.
Yes,
because
please tell
it's
us.
very, 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 very minimal. I opened the bonnet and there's no engine. There's a motor. So all you need to do is change the reducer oil, the coolant, and the brake oil. And the cycle is about 20,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
So your costs will be cut down by 80% with an
Imagine
electric
that.
vehicle.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You and your mechanic, mnakutania wapi? Kwa brake pads. You know.
That's it.
Yeah.
What?
Asijaribu kugusa kitu ingine kwa hiyo gari.
Let me
No,
ask.
if it's not a trained person, don't let them touch it.
Yeah.
Let me ask, how much do you think it costs to service that vehicle after 20,000 kilometers?
After 20k kilometers.
Yeah.
How much do you think it costs?
JP, you want to answer that?
I'm assuming maybe 10 Gs.
Yeah, because it's like,
Yeah.
the
Thou.
battery.
What?
Ah, bros.
It's only 1,000 bob to service that vehicle, I'm telling you.
Jeez.
Are you serious?
You need like 600 bob to buy the reducer oil. It's not this
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
for the transmission. And that's that. The rest is all about checkups, diagnosis, and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe the 400 you give to the guy who's doing the service.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it comes to 1,000 bob.
1,000 bob.
So in terms of because I know you guys usually use some sort of some of the latest technology when you're developing all these gadgets, maybe the batteries. So what are we talking about? What's the latest in the game right now for the electric vehicles that you're even using in your company? What's the latest piece of technology we're talking about? Of course, disruptive.
Right. One of the biggest questions that we get whenever a client comes to see the vehicles, because we have our showroom here at Samia Park, and when guys come in, they listen and they're excited, then they go like, and how much is the battery? I like that question because the battery is not one unit. The battery is under the car, so it's an undercarried battery. That battery for the Netta has about 4 modules, and each of those modules has more than 1,000 cells. So at no one point will you be able to destroy the entire battery. So what happens is, if you feel like the car is not performing as it used to, we plug it into the diagnostics machine.
Yeah.
It will tell us exactly which cells have a problem, and then you just need to change those cells.
Yeah.
So the fear of, I need to change this battery, which will cost me so much money, and I'm so scared of it because what do I do with it when it's destroyed,
Yeah.
is simply gone. You simply change. I mean, your phone has like 1 cell.
Yeah.
If it dies, it's dead. The car has more than 1,000 of
Yeah.
those cells. So if 1 cell dies, the rest continue.
Makes sense. Easy stuff.
I like the way you're speaking about fears that most people have, especially when it comes to a new field like electric cars. So what are some of the other fears that you have? Because I see, like, with our petrol cars, you just drive to the nearest petrol station when it's at E. But now I'm driving electric car, my car is telling me battery low. Like, what happens?
You scream and shout. No,
Yes.
you don't. Okay, so when you buy cars from Moja EV, they come with 2 chargers. So there's a charger that you mount. So we'll mount for you at home. So do you want it mounted at home or at work? You know, the guys who own their own businesses, they own where the business is, so you can mount it there.
Yeah.
Then there's a portable charger. This portable charger goes into a socket,
Yeah.
just like that one, but preferably the single socket. All right. So with that, even if you go,
But are these stations accessible even to guys who maybe live in remote areas?
no. So the stations I've talked about
Yeah.
are given to you
Oh,
as the
so
owner.
it's portable. You just go home with it.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
one that's portable. That
Yeah.
one, don't even let it come out of your boot.
With it.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
one that's portable. That
Yeah.
one, don't even let it come out of your boot. All right. And then there's the one we mount at home.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Sorry.
And then now there are entrepreneurs and different organizations that are coming up with chargers and putting them in malls, in different stations,
Yeah.
So if you feel like, for example, with let's say the Neta, all right. So if you feel like, for example, with let's say the Neta, all right, you want to go to Nyeri. Nyeri is about 180 something kilometers from here, and you're seeing my battery can only take me, let's say 100 kilometers. You go into the nearest mall. You go to Kenya Power, you plug it in, within an hour the car is full and you go. All right. But on a regular, someone who goes to work, the car sits the whole day. On a regular, someone who goes to work, the car sits the whole day, and then you go home, you'll take about maybe, let's say 50 kilometers a day. 50 kilometers, the Neta has 400 kilometers. You have 8 days. To charge the Neta from 0 to 100 is equivalent to about 800 shillings in terms of tokens.
Nah, what? That's very affordable. It's all.
So when we say it keeps money in your pocket, my friend, it does.
Yeah.
It retains the money in your pocket.
You see, the charging issue when it comes to EV, for now, is not a big deal. Apart from the commercial vehicles that we're trying to bring into the market, where somebody needs to charge faster so that you can travel, for your personal use for car, it's not a big deal because you give you 2 chargers. If you're in Nairobi or maybe in Shags in Kisumu and you live in your house and you have power, then at night when you're going to sleep, you just plug it in 4 hours, the car is fully charged from zero. That is the 7.5 kilowatts charger. When you're traveling outside, you carry the carry-on charger. Depending on the kind of person you are. If at night you're going to sleep and you sleep for like 6-7 hours, when it gets dark, you just plug it in like a phone, because all of us have phones. So you plug it on the wall every night. Why can't you do that with a vehicle?
Exactly.
When you wake up in the morning, have mileage there. You can travel a long distance. Now, when she was talking about 800 bulb, the Neta V is 38.5 kilowatts. That is the size of the charger. Right now, Kenya Power selling as power for around, is it 25, 26?
About 25.
So multiply that by, it's 23 shillings per unit or 25 shillings per unit, depending with the time of day or night. So for a taxi driver, for example, using a Neta V, the car, as you drove, it's comfortable, it's nice.
Yeah.
If you pay a token of 500 shillings, you can make at least maybe 10k out of it, because you can drive 300 kilometers with that 500.
On that 500. That's insane.
Yes.
Wow.
If you add the 300, now you have the to 800 shillings or so, you have the 400 kilometers.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a taxi driver who does 400. I think that's too much for them. And for a normal combustion vehicle, maybe a small one, 650 or 1000 cc's, you're spending around 4,000 for fuel or 3,500 for fuel for 300 kilometers.
Yeah.
Or even more.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. But what's the biggest barrier to consumer adoption? If I can put it like that, yeah. What are some of the concerns? What are some of the things that make now certain consumers be like, EVs are not my thing, man. They're not my thing. What do you think is the biggest barrier out here? And maybe now that is some of the problems that you're trying to solve.
Kenyans are stubborn.
And I'm sure they're stubborn for a good reason. Why are they stubborn?
Let's go back.
Yeah.
All right. A long time ago, all the cars were stick shift. The transition from stick shift to automatic was chaotic.
Yeah.
Because all the boomers were like, no, I have to have full control of my car.
I agree.
You remember all those things that were being said about automatic cars?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the same boomers now are driving automatic. And then hybrids showed up and guys were like, no. Nikiguza hiyo gari ndapigwa shock. You know, all those kind of things that guys say, all right? Which are the same things we are being told now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where there are all these stereotypes, unaendesha microwave, you know. So there's all of these things that we get told on a day-to-day basis. And that's why I say we are a bit stubborn, all right?
Yeah.
Now, initially, when electric vehicles came, not into Kenya, but in the US market, when they were beginning, all right, you'd find a lot of problems with, there's a problem with the battery. Other times, the car would just not start. Other times, the car would start burning, you know. There were all those issues at the beginning. But that was like 2008. This is 20 years later. The technology has evolved. You know, it has moved from being one huge cell into all the small cells that can actually power this thing. So all the questions that we get in terms of fears and resistance are based off of things that happened 20 years ago. You're not the same person 20 years ago. You wouldn't make the same mistakes you made 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Innovation has caught up with everything. problem solving has caught up with everything. So a lot of those challenges that we're getting are more on the wacha nione nani ako na gari, then I'll see, you know. So the micro-influencing climate is still very active, where if I haven't seen the car on the road, then I'm very scared. Or if I haven't seen somebody who has this car, then I'm very scared. But also, negativity reigns.
What do you mean?
All right. In this sense, let's go back to advertising. Advertising 101. It's easier for one person to talk about bad service that they've experienced to 20 people.
I agree.
But it's very difficult for them to talk to even 2 people about good service they've had.
Yeah.
All right. So all the things that you would hear in the EV market currently from the crowd is negative. Oh, unajua beshte yangu alikuwa na hybrid ikafanya hivi. But if you investigate, either this person didn't pay attention to the vehicle or really didn't know how to run it. So as part of our sales journey or our marketing journey, we're doing a lot of education about it. We're doing a lot of battery care. You know, teaching guys how to take care of the battery. You know, the same way you don't spot charge your phone. You know, you don't always sit down and say, I'm at 30%, let me charge it again. I'm at 50%, let me charge it again. You wouldn't do the same with your car battery. So that kind of education is what is demystifying all these fears and creating an opportunity for a lot of people to now get into the EV space. And that's why you can see the numbers have risen and they'll continue rising.
That's interesting.
Now, let me ask a hypothetical. So I'm the one with the electric car. And then I gave Kev the car for the weekend. Now, Kev...
But this car has no fuel tank. This car has no engine.
So it won't
when
enter.
the president was talking about this car, that's why I think some Kenyans are a bit skeptical also, because when the deal is so sweet, we always tend to be like, ebu tuone nani ataanza. We always tend to like chill out and see who's coming first. When the president was talking about it, it's like, gari ina engine, inaenda mbio. Junataka kuleta. And then he was showing up with the tiny car and all that. So when you tell people EVs, they think that tiny car. We have 4x4s, we have double cabs, we have 16-seater matatus, we have lorries, we have trucks that are EVs. They are fast, they're reliable, and there's no place to put the fuel. Come on.
Good.
Like, it is fully sealed. Even the bonnet itself is sealed. So the only thing you can do is maybe plug. There's a place to plug it in. But there's no place you can put on. So when he's talking about negativity, I think people in Kenya, like when the deal is too sweet, think twice. And also not so many people understand about EVs. Because so many people you meet are like, is this a hybrid? You're like, no, it is fully electric. No. There's no fuel anywhere. So there's no engine. How? What is the CC? You're like, there's no engine. No. You just tell me the CC. You're like, this does not have an engine, so you cannot
have CC.
Combustion. And they're like, okay, so how do you equivalent it to the CC? So I think it is very difficult to get that thing out. So you get in a CC, the car does not have a sound. Once that one doesn't work. The car is on. Guy has been driving for over 20 years, switches the car on, it is not making a sound. He go like, no.
Let me ask you, in terms of consumer behavior, which type of Kenyans are usually interested in this type of cars, right? Is it like high-end folks, guys in business who want to just make sense of their monies? Is it the younger Kenyans? What have you noticed? What's the pattern looking like?
Kenyans are curious. Kenyans are curious. So we have all types of people who come into the showroom, who come to ask us questions. We partnered with Kenyatta University and went to the showground, so we're there for a whole week. And we got quite a lot of feedback from a lot of different people. All right. So we had guys who just pass by and be like, "Igari ni ya stima? Ebu fungua mbele." So we actually opened up the bonnet and they were like, "Iko wapi engine?" You know, and then there are guys who have driven hybrids and PHEVs, and they're like, "Let's do math." Okay, so there's one, he's a lecturer at JQuat. He said, my PHEV Outlander has reduced my costs by 45%. How much further can this one do? We sat down, we did math on the netter. He walked away, came back a few hours later and was like, okay, fine. Now let's do math on the Skyworth. And we did math on the Skyworth and he was like, I'm going to get a headache, so I'll see you tomorrow. And so he came back the next day, not alone, but with 2 other lecturers from JQuat. So you have different people who are interested. Some are interested to understand how it works and how it would benefit them. Others are interested to buy because they've already figured out a few things about it. They've
Yeah.
had something good about it.
Yeah.
And so now they want to try it. You know, so you have you have young children coming to ask you questions at the showground.
Yeah.
And they're asking you intelligent questions.
Yeah.
And even the older people are sitting there looking at them like,
What kind of questions?
As in, I was asked questions about the battery
Oh,
by
nice.
children.
Yeah.
I was asked questions about how the motor works.
Yeah.
I was asked about service by kids who are in primary school, high school.
Yeah.
Very, very eloquent, very, very intelligent. So we have a lot of a wide range of people who are interested in understanding the vehicles. When it comes to purchase, it's a different story. All right. So for the Netta is a very good car for professionals. You drive to work, the car sits,
Yeah.
you go home. All right. It's very good for housewives. It has
Yeah.
amazing space. It has amazing boot space.
talk about
and you
that.
can do the school
Yeah.
runs.
Yeah.
You know. So you're good to go, right? My girlies who love shopping, this is for you. You have all the space that you need. All right. And then